Hello and welcome to this really short video in which I am going to give you a framework that I use in my own life and business to be able to help you manage the fear. Don't worry about the car, we're just going to roll with it. To help you manage the fear of judgment, the fear of failure and the fear of success. So this model can be used for every walk of life. It can be used for business especially, but it can just in general be used for, like, how do I rock up in my own world? Who do I let into my environment? And how do I deal with those people in life who are like Debbie Downers or like sad sack Susans? So I want to tell you a really quick story about one of my early days of business. I just filmed this really funny, awesome video for marketing purposes, and I stood in front of my laptop for an entire day waiting to hit the publish button, and I just couldn't do it. All these fears kept coming up inside me, like, what if, like, the guy I went to school with back in 1994 watches it and thinks I'm stupid? Or what if my sister doesn't like I'm swearing in it? And all of these, like, preconceived judgments from other people just kind of flooded to me, and they really paralyzed me. And I called my business coach at the time, and her advice was so solid. She was just like, the people who are judging you now are the people who will claim to have known you in the future. And I think you kind of have to push through other people's judgments sometimes. And if you're feeling judged by other people and you know that's holding you back in any area of life, this model is going to be perfect for you. It's also going to really help you with the fear of failure. I personally believe that failure isn't a thing until we give up. Actually, I hear the statistic all the time, 97% of businesses fail in the first 2 years. I don't think businesses fail, I think people give up. So this model is also going to help you if you're resonating with that. And if you're in fear of success, I think most people like laugh at me when I'm like, oh yeah, you're scared of success. They're like, no, I want the money, I want the fame. But actually, in leveling up, quite often, which we have to do to achieve success in any area, right? Success in health, success in love, success in finances, success in business. We got to level up to achieve that success. And a secret fear, which I think a lot of people harbor, is if I level up, what if these people don't come with me? And so instead, what we tend to do is we kind of play down here because we're worried that if we play up here, we'll be alone. So if you resonate with any of that, you're completely in the right place. So I want to give you this model which I use on a daily basis, and I call it my Queendom. So it's the Queendom model. So I want you to imagine, and if you're a dude, just replace the word queen with king. But most of my market tends to be women, so we're rolling with Queendom for today. All right, so I want you to imagine, right, that there's this pyramid. And at the very top of the pyramid is you. There's your little face at the top of the pyramid, and he's wearing a crown, right? Or a tiara, whichever you prefer, but for me it's like dirty, big, massive crown. And I'm Queen Emily. I am the queen of my kingdom. It can't be any other way. And if that feels a bit weird for you, just roll with it for now. Just push through the resistance and play this game of make-believe with me, right? You're the queen of your kingdom. Now I want you to imagine at the bottom of this pyramid, at the very bottom of your kingdom, you've got all of these people here who are citizens of your kingdom. So let me put that into normal terms for you. These might be the people that cut you up on the way to work. They might be the person that you sit next to on the tram, the person that you meet at Coles, your postman, people that you interact with, but you probably don't know much about, and they probably don't know much about you. Now, if you're in business, these are the people that might have a vague awareness of you, or maybe they've seen you at a networking event, but they're not really engaging with your stuff, but they're people nonetheless, right? Now, we need, as the queen of our Queendom, we need to make sure that so that our kingdom is somewhere that we enjoy being, that we treat the citizens with love and compassion. Even when the citizens cut us up on the way to work or they're a bit douchebaggy, if we lead with love and compassion, we will see a Queendom, that gives back love and compassion to us. So if we rule our Queendom with judgment, and with anger, feeling really annoyed, with sort of righteousness, then our citizens are going to react in the same way, and you're not going to enjoy your Queendom quite as much. So, do these citizens matter? Kind of. They might not be the most important people in your world, but you need to be filtering down from the top with love and compassion so they can reflect that back to you. Remember, you are in control of your queendom. Now, every now and then, you're going to get a citizen who is just a fucking dick. And you are going to have to think about putting them in prison. So what does that look like? When I eventually got around to publishing that very first video that I'd ever recorded onto Facebook, I got my very first troll. Someone who I'd never met, someone who didn't know me, just decided to make a really mean, really inappropriate comment about the video and the content that I was putting out. Now, as the queen of my kingdom, I had a couple of choices. I could let that shake the throne, and I could waver in my leadership, or I could kind of just put them in jail. And so I blocked them and deleted the message from the video feed. So every now and then, you're going to have to just block and delete, get rid of, stop answering the phone, no longer have that person as part of the energy of your queendom. Now, I don't recommend that you go around putting everyone in jail because that is going to fuck up your economy. You can't afford to keep everyone in jail. But just be aware that you have got that power just to go, nah, you're not going to be an active part of my queendom anymore. All right, so here we are. We've got your little face up here, you've got your citizens down here, and then the next part of the pyramid is your workers. So you've got your citizens down here and you've got your workers here. And the workers are people who, in everyday life, maybe you do work with them. So maybe they are Cheryl, who you sit opposite from accounts. Maybe this is a family member that you see every couple of years. Maybe it is, if you're in business for yourself, your market. So these are people who are really important in your world. They're not the most important people in your world, but they're important. They're people that you know. And you want to nurture these people. And as the queen of your queendom, you want to start asking yourself, how do I want to educate these people? What education system am I going to filter down from the top so that my workers are creating a queendom that I'm happy to rule? So if you are in business for yourself, what blogs are you putting out? What videos are you putting out? What podcasts are you putting out? What other queens and kings are you recommending that your market or your workers use to educate themselves? So you want to start thinking, when it comes to your workers, how are you leading these people? How are you rocking up? How are you showing by example? Really start thinking about the education that you are going to be filtering down to them, because this market is your economy. The workers are your economy. The health of your very queendom depends on how much effort and love you are going to filter down to this part of your queendom. So, and again, every now and then, maybe you're no longer a worker and you're just going to go down to citizenship level because you're not necessarily playing by the laws of the queendom that you decide, because it's your queendom. Or every now and then, into jail, every now and then. Now, as we go up the pyramid, the next layer are your lords and ladies. And your lords and ladies in business terms are your clients. And if you're not in business for yourself, your lords and your ladies are your really good mates. They're the people that you want to hang out with. They're the people that make you feel good. They're the people that bring richness to your life. They're the people that take the education that you are giving out freely and they are converting it into the economic growth of your queendom. They're making you money. They're filling you up in some way. So if you're not in business for yourself, it might not necessarily be about the money, but it might be about love. It might be about loyalty. It might be about giving back to you. So right up here, your lords and ladies, this is where people are really beginning to really fucking support you as the queen of your queendom. They're really beginning to sort of pay their dues, if that makes sense. So in business, the more that you can filter down to your market or to your workers, the more you invest in them, the more lords and ladies you'll have, the more money you'll have, the healthier the economy of your queendom will be. And if you're not in business, the more love that you give to your lords and ladies, and the more that you filter down to your workers, the more that you lead by example, the more that they will give back to you in all sorts of different energies and ways. And then the next layer on top of that are your trusted advisors. Now, these people are inside your castle walls. These people are sitting around the table with you. These people are good people who will go to war by your side. And you probably won't have many of them. And there might be points in your journey as you're creating your queendom and really working out how you want your queendom to be, that you look around and you're like, fuck, I don't actually have any trusted advisors yet. They will come, I promise you, they will come from your lords and ladies. Some of them might rise up from the ranks of citizen. That's all good, right? But you've got to be really careful about who you let inside your castle walls. So let me give you an example of this, because it's not always the people that you think. When you are looking at who is going to be a trusted advisor in your queendom, you want to be asking yourself some questions. How are they running their kingdoms or queendoms? And what you want to be looking at are sort of 4 kind of areas, I guess. The first is, what's the economy of their kingdom or queendom like? So if one of your trusted advisors who's sitting around that table with you, breaking bread with you, you are investing your time, your money and your energy in this person, and they, in business especially, and they've got a queendom or a kingdom that is flailing, that doesn't have any money, that doesn't have any structure, that doesn't have any order, you want to ask yourself, as beautiful as they might be one of your lords and ladies, they might be one of your workers, they might just be one of your citizens. But if they are inside that table, inside that castle wall with you, and their queendom or kingdom is fucked, you've got to drop them down a layer, maybe even 2. Because otherwise, your queendom is going to be affected by their ruling. One of the other areas that you really need to keep in mind, so you've got economy, the other one is education. What does the education in their kingdom or queendom look like? How are their workers performing? How are their citizens feeling? What types of lords and ladies have they got in their kingdom or queendom? And then you want to ask yourself, is that acceptable in your world? The next one is leadership. How are they leading? Are they leading from a place of certainty? Are they leading from a place of confidence? Are they leading from a place of demonstration? Because you know who goes to war with a queen is someone who feels safe and secure in her leadership. You know who doesn't go to war for a queen is someone who feels like they're being used. So if I said to you now, hey, queendom, assemble, I need my citizens, I need my workers, I need my lords and my ladies and my trusted advisors, I need you all to grab your shields and I need you to charge, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to stay here because I don't really want to do it. No one's fucking charging, man. Equally, if I'm like, oh, should we go? Should we? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Go on then. Oh, yeah, maybe go on then. No one's charging. You know how I go to war? I pick up my fucking shield and I pick up my sword and I go, guys, I'm going to war. And I believe in us and I trust me. And if you want to come to war with me, fucking rock on. That's how I lead my queendom. And that's how I get people to charge with me. So look at your trusted advisors. How are they leading their own kingdoms and queendoms? And if that's not how you want to lead yours, if they're not getting the results in their kingdom or queendom that you want in yours, maybe they're not your trusted advisor. And then the last one is, what laws do they have in place? And do those laws work for you? So is it acceptable to bitch? Is it acceptable to steal? Is it acceptable to be lazy? How are their citizens? You know, are their citizens rebelling? Is there lots of fear? Is there lots of judgment? Is there lots of piss taking? Is there lots of bullying? You know, if you're speaking to a queen or a king, because everyone's a queen and a king of their own kingdom, right? And if you're speaking to somebody and they're talking about how no one can be trusted and all men are assholes and there's drama, they've got shit laws. They have got a terrible, terrible structure around the laws that they will accept and not accept, the boundaries and the standards that they are employing in their own queendom and kingdom. And so ask yourself, is that person a trusted advisor? Do you get to sit at the table with me? Do I listen to you or not? And you'll be surprised how many people that you are allowing inside your castle walls who aren't running their own kingdoms and queendoms appropriately. It's not to say that we don't love these people. Let me give you an example of this. I look around at my trusted advisors. My dad's not in that circle. I fucking love my dad, Roger. Mwah! Fucking legend. My father, apple of my eye. Could not love that man more. Absolute bloody legend. He's not in my trusted advisors crew. He's just not. He doesn't run his kingdom the way I want to run my queendom. He has laws that I don't agree with. He has citizens who are rebelling around him that I'm not going to tolerate in my world. He educates his workers in a way that I just don't see as appropriate for the life that I want to lead. he has lords and ladies that I don't find fun. They're not my people. So he's not part of my trusted advisors. He's a citizen of my queendom. That doesn't mean I love him less. It doesn't mean I don't value him really highly in my world, but he's not a trusted advisor. I don't go for him for advice around business. I just don't. That doesn't mean I don't love him. It's just that he's a citizen of my world, not a trusted advisor. So use this model to start asking yourself, who have you got in your corner and where are you placing them in the hierarchy, and it is a hierarchy in that sense, of your queendom. And it's not you're up here so you're more important, because my citizens are as important as my workers, which are as important as my, what's the next one? As important as my lords and ladies, who are as important as my trusted advisor. But the person who is the most important is me. It has to be me. And what I see, especially in business, is people who have their queendom or kingdom upside down. They're trying to rule from citizenship. So they're trying to rule this way. They're down here and they're holding the weight of their entire kingdom because they're trying to change their trusted advisors. They're trying to change their lords and ladies. They're trying to change their workers. They're trying to change their citizens. And it's just exhausting, and they're wondering where it feels like the weight of the world is crashing down upon them. Or they're wondering why they're not getting results. They're wondering why they're not losing weight when one of their trusted advisors is also horrendously overweight, doesn't go to the gym, and thinks cake is a stable meal. Like, look at the people that you have got in your queendom or your kingdom and ask yourself, am I prioritizing them in the right place at the right time? It's not that you love one person more than the other, but you've got to start wondering and asking and genuinely acting from a place of leadership. This is how I want my rule to go. This is the world I want to create. And the people who see what you are doing and want to support you and want to love you in that will absolutely comply to the rules of your queendom. And if they don't, they're not meant to be in your world. You let them go with love. You let them go with compassion. You don't even have to have a conversation about it. They will hand in their passport and they will leave of their own accord. And you kind of have to let that happen, because otherwise you are never, ever, ever going to have the life and the experience of this world that you want to have for yourself. You're never going to succeed in business. You're never going to have the health that you want. You're never going to be in the relationship that brings you joy. And more than that, you're never really going to lead from a place of passion and love and contribution. So I trust that that has helped. If you've got any questions, you know where to find me. You can just email me personally, emily@emilychadbourne.com. If you want to hear more of my ramblings, I'm live every single Wednesday, 11 a.m. Melbourne time, across Facebook and Instagram. And if you miss any of those videos, all good, the edited versions are available on my YouTube channel, Emily Chadbourne. Make sure that you subscribe, and I'll see you soon. It's me again, I know. I do have one more thing that I want to add to this model for you, and I think it's really important that when you look at this model, you understand that it needs to be really fluid. So the best leaders, the people who seem to have the best economy, the best medical care, the best education systems, the best structure and order, they are the queens and the kings who are really flexible with their pyramid. So what this means is sometimes you are going to have some people who in certain contexts are your trusted advisors, but then in other contexts might be one of your lords and ladies, and then in other contexts might just be one of your workers. So let me give you an example of this. Let's say, right, you are the queen of your queendom and you're single, and you have done an online dating profile. Now, your trusted advisor in that particular context probably is not going to be your mum, right? Your mum's not dating. Dating isn't part of your mum's queendom. She herself isn't going out and doing that do. So in that particular context, she's probably not going to check over your Tinder profile. But maybe in the context of parenting, if you're a queen with a baby, she is going to be one of your trusted advisors. because in her queendom, she's doing that. And maybe she's doing it really successfully, and so you want to know how she's doing it so you can do it successfully in your own queendom. And then maybe when it comes to sewing, she's never picked up a needle and thread before in her life. So maybe she's just a citizen of your queendom in that particular circumstance. And it's also really important to understand that, you know, people will go up and down levels as your leadership develops, as your monarchy continues to reign, and you learn new things and you experience new things and you meet new people. So, you know, I have friends who once upon a time were in my trusted advisor group. They were. And I thought they would be there forever. But then I moved to Australia, and then I learned some shit, and then things changed, and I developed and I grew and I evolved, and they went off and did different things and they started families. And so actually now maybe they're citizens, beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous, amazing citizens who I'm so grateful and thankful for. But as I have evolved and grown and my leadership has changed, the pyramid is going to be moving. So when you're looking at this model and asking yourself, who have I got and where am I placing them? Who am I listening to? You also want to give yourself the grace of knowing that those positions change and that they're fluid and that they are contextual. So I trust that that has really sort of clarified that for you. You know, if I wanted to improve my queendom by learning some scientific facts and improving the education for my citizens, for my workers, for my lords and ladies, and for my trusted advisors by educating myself more, right? Because it all filters down from the top. Everything filters down from me in my queendom. Then actually my dad would suddenly go from citizen to maybe lords and ladies, maybe even trusted advisor. Because that man, Roger, knows everything about everything scientific. So, and I see that demonstrated in his own kingdom. But when it comes to business, he hasn't got a clue what I'm doing. He's a citizen. Does that make sense? I trust that that has made sense. Go forth, start creating your kingdom and queendom, and remember you have to be at the top of your pyramid. If you are at the top of your pyramid and you hold yourself there in high esteem, day in, day out, the rest of your universe will comply. And that the bits of your universe that don't comply were never meant to be part of your queendom. Go forth and rule with love.